Okay, we've got a paid review coming in. This is a paid review for you. So I'm actually going to be, even though they've paid me the money, I will be sending the money to you. Hi Archie, was I wanting advice from your dad regarding self-managed super funds? I have some questions I'd like to ask him. He sent me 20 US, which is good. Enjoy watching your vids, very entertaining, Adam. Now this is the question. He goes, I'm 29 and have around 13,000 in 2 super funds. In the long term, would you go with a self-managed super fund? If so, how would you set it up? What would you invest in? Shares or other things? What do you think about the 2 ASX companies, Milton and Argo? Those sort of companies. Do you think I should stick to a private super provider out there? Is it better to go with self-managed super over any of the private funds? Thanks a lot, Adam. Okay.
Yeah, well, with the super fund, I think basically the answer is very simple. In one way, is 13,000 is not much, and you know they sort of say that have a self-managed super fund, you need probably at least around about 200,000. Because the fees are very high. You've got to pay audit fees. This has to be audit. Accountants got to prepare figures. Got to be audited. You've got to do returns to ASIC. There's a lot of compliance regulations, and normally it's not worth the money. In fact, my view was always that why go into very small self-managed super funds? The industry funds that they've got, you know, there's a whole range of them, are very successful. The fees are very low, and that's a better place, especially for small amounts of money. With the private funds, the advisors tell you how great it is, but really the advisor's not even. All he's got is he's got his standard fund, his standard reply. All he's interested in is in commission, and really at 13,000, he's not even interested in talking to you because his fees will be 5,000 to advise you what you're asking. So self-managed super fund, you haven't got enough money, and the super you've got, you're probably working or whatever. Just put it in a fund which has low fees, and
Sun Super's a good fund.
Well, in Queensland, yeah. Well, that's an industry fund. Sun Super. You've got Hestia, all the Hestia. There's a whole lot of them. Uni Super.
You basically you want to move away from high fees.
You want to move away from high fees and just let them. There's no compliance, no charges. They probably charge you $250 a month, as opposed to $3,000 per annum.
$2.50 a month.
Yeah, $2.50 a month. That's
not $250.
No, $2.50 as opposed to $3,000 per annum for the private funds, often, or very high fees. And so that's your answer there. With Milton and Argo, well, I have shares in AFI, Argo. Milton is the same type of company. Milton, Argo, and AFI, and a few others like that. What they do, they invest in a whole series of funds. So you're really buying the index in a sense. But it's good in one point of view. One of my clients, all he does, he doesn't buy Commonwealth Bank, banks, Woolworths, whatever, things like that, specific share. He just buys into those funds, because if you buy, say, a Commonwealth Bank, and then the Commonwealth Bank's charged with fraud or something, well, you've lost big whack of your money. Yeah, or your big four. If you go into those funds, which is you're virtually buying the whole index, it's a very good cushion, and you don't have to think. They do the buying and the selling, and they have pretty good returns. So Milton and Argo and AFI, and there's I think there's 5 of them like that, 5 big ones, and so they're pretty good. If you go specific, you can go and ask a broker, what specific advice, or buy share magazines.
So how does that compare to? I know about the AFI.
Well, this is exactly the same thing. Argo is exactly the same as AFI.
What's your preference? Do you prefer Argo?
They're all the same.
They're pretty similar.
Because they all buy they all buy they basically roughly the top 60-70% of their money.
Now, we must stress you don't have a license, do you? You can't really advise on.
No, I'm not allowed to advise what to. But yeah, that's right. But
because you had a license and you gave it back because you're in retirement, aren't you?
Well,
but this is just general advice.
General advice, yeah.
Like
yeah.
advice for me, like you like AFI for yourself. You buy AFI, you buy Argo, don't you?
Yes. Because
I've never heard of Milton, but Milton's similar.
It's exactly the same thing. Yeah, it's just another company.
Is that the three big ones? AFI, Milton, and Argo.
And there's two others. The one JEWELLERY or something, and there's another one. But the biggest one, AFI is the biggest. I think Argo, followed by Argo, by Milton, then Milton's the third biggest.
See.
Yeah, they're all the same. Yeah, and the safety in volume and this and in spread. And what they do, they basically put those they're called LICs, something investment companies. They're licensed investment company. They buy 70% of their money is in the top 20 companies in Australia.
I see.
And then the other 30%, or roughly, or 20%, depending which company, they go into other ones like subsidiary companies like Bank of Queensland and Santos and things like that. But the bulk of their money is in the top 20 companies, and then they take decisions on other companies. So as an investor, say if you personally invested in Bank A, and Bank A did badly, well, you've lost a lot. But here, if you, they have Bank A.
They got the spread because you couldn't, with a small amount of money, you couldn't have exposure to all these shares. So it's better to have the spread.
Yeah, and so if one Bank A went broke, well, there it wouldn't make that much of an impact on that portfolio. You'd lose a bit, 5% of your money, but you wouldn't lose 60% of your money or 80% of your money. See, so so people. A lot of people, and I'm taking the view myself, that going into one of those type of things is safer, and you can sleep at night.
So tell me this. Let's look at this guy here. He's 29. Okay.
Yeah.
He's got 13,000 in 2 super funds. He should probably push that into one fund, shouldn't he? A low fee industry fund. That'd probably be a smart thing. That's what I would say.
Yeah, it depends where they are.
Why have 2 funds?
Yeah.
It's really.
Is he working?
Yes, he appears to be working.
See, sometimes in the old days, the people he worked for had their own fund, but now that
I see what you're saying.
Now you have the choice of, even if you're working for somebody, to choose the fund.
Yeah. Okay. So I suppose it's okay to keep 2 funds there.
Yeah.
As long as the fund that he keeps to the side is a low fee. You don't want it being eaten by fees.
Yeah.
You don't want to be eaten by fees.
That's right.
But 29-year-old man, how much he wants to buy. It sounds like he should forget having a self-managed super fund.
Yeah.
But he should buy some shares himself. The other problem is if he's 29, he really should put some shares in his own name. Not through a super fund. He should be saving himself. Yeah. How much would you buy? What's the minimum? Like, I'm with CommSec. CommSec is the Commonwealth Bank. They charge $10 to buy or sell now.
That's gone down, has it? Yeah.
I don't know whether it's a special offer I got or something, but it's
maybe
$10. It's nothing.
It's nothing, and
but many of the big banks have that.
Yeah.
Would it be okay for him to invest $1,000 in something like AFI, Argo, or Milton? That's sensible.
Well, if he wants a real thing, he should write to me and ask.
Well, he has paid $20. He has paid $20. You've got to give him some value here.
No, we've given the answer. The answer is
how much should he be saving? A 29-year-old man. He hasn't told us about his.
Well, has he got a house?
Has he got a job? Most important.
Has he got a job? That's right.
Has he got a job? Is he married?
Is he married? Has he got kids?
Has he got?
Or is he paying maintenance to an ex-wife? So a lot of these things, but
it depends,
all things being equal,
he should be putting some money away, shouldn't he?
All things being equal, one is put money away for a safety margin, $1,000. 2, start saving a deposit for a property, perhaps. 3, then the shares. Super. Well, super is just as you work, the boss puts money in. You've got no choice. All you've got a choice is which fund, and in those funds you have a choice of which you want balanced, or do you want managed, or do you want high
High
risk?
risk.
High risk being overseas shares, and in general, I mean, you got to be careful there too. You know, you don't want it to be really silly. Most people go into a thing called balance. Balance is the balance between cash and shares. Now, it used to be 50-50 because it's balanced, but there's normally 70% shares and 30% cash. So that gives you a balance between, if things goes wrong, you still got that cash. And as you approach retirement, you go into a fund where it's got a lot of cash and not many shares. Whilst once you're young, you can go more shares and less. But all the funds normally have they ask you which fund. They give you the 5 funds they've got. Which fund do you want to go into? You know.
Yeah, you've got some choice.
You got choices, and that's what he'll be doing. Yes.
So to tell me this, here's an interesting statistic for you. This is American statistic.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's much different in Australia.
Yeah.
The average car payment in America is $484 a month.
Yeah.
Over 84 months.
Yeah.
That's 7-year term.
7-year term. That's
because normally you lease it for 4.
Yeah. Then
and then you buy it out for 3, right?
Yeah,
and then you get a new car. So, but the interesting statistic is, if once you've paid your car off, if you invested $484 a month and put it into something like, unfortunately the bank is so terrible, the interest rates are so low, you're looking at 2 or 3%, it's not going to get much growth there.
Well, that's at the moment, yes.
But if you say you put it into something like AFI or something like that type of share, which hopefully would have a dividend stream, they're a good dividend payer.
Yeah.
But you could also have the capital growth of the share.
Yeah.
If you invested $484 a month, after 10 years, you'd have something with say about 4%, 4 to 5% growth, just hypothetically speaking, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah.
You should have about $70,000.
Is that the figure that you pulled out? Is it?
Yeah,
on that program.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you would.
70,000.
You invested
70,000, and after 20 years, you'd have almost 200,000.
Look,
if you kept putting 484, that car payment
yeah.
into an investment pool.
Well, yeah. The trouble is, you still need a car. Anybody at all, if you can sort of put in 200 a month, 400 a month, consistently, and not take it out, and just let it.
That's the problem. It's not so much putting it in. It's
not taking it out.
Not taking it out. That's the painful bit.
Just imagine if you put $200 away 1 month, the next 2 months, and then at the end of the year you get a $6,000 bonus or $2,000 bonus. All right, you put 1,000 extra in and you spend 1,000, give it to the wife, and then you're off again. And that 200 compounding. It used to say it would double in 7 years, but now you say probably 10, 14 years it would double. Mm-hmm. So, but you're putting money in all the time, and that's increasing. And as long as you don't lose your capital, if you put something in like the managed this LIC type of companies, that he's talking about, well, that will grow. And he'd be pretty well off. The secret is not to take out, and
not to take out. You have many things happen in life where you take out, don't you?
That's what happens all the time. That you save a lot. People say, "Oh, I'm saving. Oh, I'm saving." Yeah, well, you're saving, but at the end of the month, you got nothing in there because you've taken it back out.
Yeah.
So
it's a fool's paradise.
And even if you save a little bit, even if you had $100 a month, well, I used to tell people $3,000 a year, which was $250 a month. $250 a month, put that away, $250 a month into something. Even term deposits are 2%.
Sure.
Put it away. In 10 years' time, you've got something.
Yes.
But as long as you don't take it out. And if then it's up to you to decide, do I go into shares or do I go into cash, leave it in cash, or do I need to put in something else later on? But that's what you do. Don't take it out. Yeah. That's the strategy.
That's hard not to take it out, isn't it? There's many temptations, isn't there?
Well, life is full of temptations. You might want the wife wants a holiday.
Sure.
Your child's got medical treatment, needs medical treatment, or will die. Well, what do? Holidays. wives want holidays or whatever they want to do. You know,
Don't
clothes,
get married.
weddings,
That sounds to
get
get rid of
weddings.
most of these problems.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
get married.
Don't get married. Yeah.
Don't get married.
It's a wonder why we do. Why do we get married, and why do we have children?
Mm.
And it's this. It's funny because we've all got the human race have got this urge to have children. What's so
Yes.
good about children? Isn't it better to have shares or a house?
Well, the problem. No, the reason why that is, you know, why that's the case.
Why?
Is because the people who didn't have children, right? That mentality died out. They didn't have children, did they? They just left with their money. They were happy and then they died.
Yeah, that's a good
Right?
point.
The only ones who continue are the fools who wanted to have children. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there to make that decision. Do you see?
Yeah, and then you got the problem with women that unless they have protection, they get fall pregnant very easy, don't they?
That's right.
And men are very tempted to have a bit of a nibble.
That's it.
And well, humans are humans. You know, they like to comfort each other and be friends and make love. But nothing worse than women saying, "Hey, guess what? I've got a surprise for you.
Yes,
I'm pregnant."
that's it.
And you think, now is that good or bad? You know,
That's right. Financial.
And
Well, that's how it is, isn't it?
Because-
It's very, very tough. It's a tough world, but I think that's good. $20 bit of advice.
yeah.
That's well done there.